Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to put the wheel set together. I suggest you, if you haven't already, put your stove together first, because this will make sense to then put this straight, put it together and put it onto the stove. So we have two panels like so, we have 6 wheels and we have 6 little pieces. Let's just open up this little parcel, which I very kindly packaged up for you neatly so they didn't all get thrust around the box in the state of courier, instead of being couriered to you. Alright, you will need a hammer or some kind of object for hitting. And what we're going to do is take there's 2 larger bits and 4 smaller ones. So 1 larger one and 2 small ones for each side. And I'm going to take the large one first, line up the slot on the bottom plate is the curved plate, right? So put that tab into the slot first, line up the tab with the slot, but you can see it's resting a little bit high, and I'm just going to go tap. I do have to be a little bit convincing, I have to admit. That one's, you've got to be fairly firm. Don't be polite. You can really tap that thing. These smaller ones are a little bit easier. Again, line it up. First put the tab into the curved bottom side, and you want to tap it near the top. So I'm holding it at an angle and just go tap. Just lock it straight in. Same thing. Bottom side, line it up and tap. Right? Now, those tabs are now locked in place. They're not going to come out, and they stop the steel from compressing or collapsing. And then the only thing left to do is now put 3 wheels. Well, not quite the only thing, but the next thing to do. Now you do want a spanner for this. I didn't actually think to make you a special spanner for these size nuts. That was a separate process of sourcing these wheels online. I didn't know exactly what I was going to get till I got them. I'm not sure what size spanner that is, but if you have a shifter, it'll be very easy. Shifter is a little guy that looks like this. Adjust the spanner to the right, and you just want to make this quite firm. Actually, you don't want these wheels getting loose and wobbly on you, so just make that a really nice snug. Okay, now we're going to do the same with that other side, but I won't bore you with that because it's exactly the same process, but I'll show you how it fits. We're going to loosen off these 2. Now you can use this thing, use your tool, very nicely designed to fit there. And you will just want to drop those inner nuts down a little bit, give yourself a little bit more thread. Right? So that when you put this on like so, you've got enough thread for the domes to really grip on nicely. And I find with these domes, you just got to reverse it and try it a few times until it spins nicely. They're a little bit tricky sometimes. See how it just locks, but if it locks, it means it hasn't lined up properly. So just reverse and spin, reverse, spin. There it goes. Just got to lock up nicely. Okay, the tool, crank that up. Okay, nice and firm. See that? So we're going to do that on both sides. I'll just do it again. You can, if you've got it, just stop the video. The only thing that you might want to watch to the end of this video for is there is one bolt that goes through the 2 wheels, and that just creates extra structural rigidity. It's not actually necessary, but I just thought, why not? Let's just add one more point of strength, because we can. I like things to be robust, especially when you're playing with fire. You don't want to have, sorry, do the wrong way around, do that bottom side first. Yeah, when we're playing with fire, we want everything to be as structurally robust as it can be. Okay, first tap. Nice and firm. Great. Now, this is the one bit I did want to show you. We've got a hole here and here, and I've got a bolt, really, but it's here. And you'll see it's got a flat and a dome. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop that down. I threaded the flat down in enough so that I can get it in, and then I bring the flats back up, and I want the thread to very even. Now, just because the spacing, it's a little bit tricky to get in there, but it's not too bad. Put the dome, I'm actually holding the dome and spinning the thread. That makes sense on that side. Okay, I'm going to spin this over. So hopefully you can see. Dome through there. So what I'm doing is the dome is capturing it from that way, and the threaded flat nut on the inside is a locking nut. So actually, so you can go finger tight on the dome, and then you can use your tool to really tighten the locking nut from the inside. Alright. And that's the gap on the larger tool, is the M8. There we have it. Now that makes a very solid, stable base for this guy. Right, and it rolls around really nicely. I've tried a few different widths, but I found that this width and using 6 wheels was the most stable, especially when you've got the cooktop on top. You want it to be really stable. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, and whoops, wonky camera. Right, you see that? So what I didn't show you guys before, this little ashtray guy slides in there either way, and so the idea is that if you get a bit of build up of ash, you can just give that a jiggle, and that will shuffle the ash down into the next layer where you've got, this is your ashtray, so I guess you'd call that an ash jiggler, and the ashtray, and these tools are designed to pull these in and out. Right, that and that. That's the pellet basket. We'll do a separate video on how we build that. And the one more thing I want to show you. Sorry for that dead air. Okay, this is when you don't have a cooktop, but you want to cook directly on top. We have this little cross section like so. I'll just drop it down so you can see it. Right, so we have the shorter piece going sideways, the longer piece going front to back, and you have to do it that way, and you'll notice it just easily slots together, and you'll find a nice flat surface for cooking on. Great.